Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see the fifth unit, that is the analysis of linear time invariant discrete time system. Okay. So in the first unit, we discussed the classification of signals and system. In the second unit, we discussed analysis of continuous time signal. Okay, using the different tools, Fourier series, Fourier transform, and Laplace transform. In the third unit, analysis of continuous time system. Okay, linear time invariant continuous time system we discussed. In the fourth unit, it's an analysis of discrete time signals. Okay, using the two transform. One is discrete time Fourier transform and is a transform. Okay, then the fifth unit, it is an analysis of linear time invariant discrete time system. Okay, using the transform, is a transform, and DTFT. Okay, so you know what is a system first. So in the first unit itself, we discussed the system. What is mean by system? System is nothing but it's a interconnection of elements or blocks. So for that system, we are giving some input signal, and that system processes those input signal and it produces some desired output. Okay, so here it's a discrete system. So you know the systems are basically classified into two different types. One is continuous time system, another one is discrete time system. Okay, so what is the difference between these two systems means, if the system it is having the capability to process the continuous time signal x of t and it produces output as a y of t, means that system is called as a continuous time system. Okay, so you see here it is a discrete system. So discrete time system means this system is having the ability to process the discrete input signal. Okay, so the discrete input x of n and it produces output, discrete output y of n, means that signal it is called as a discrete time system. Okay, so you see, so this is the one block. This block indicates the discrete time system. So for discrete time system, the input given as a x of n, okay, discrete input x of n, and output taken from the system, it is mentioned as a y of n. Okay, so for discrete system, we have to give discrete time signal as the input, and we have to take a discrete time signal as the output. So it is said to be the discrete system. So the system is one that accepts discrete time signal as input and produces discrete time signal as output, means that system is called as a DT system. Okay, and so here we are going to analyze the linear time invariant discrete time system. So you know that is in the first unit we discussed that is the classification of systems. Okay, so the systems are further classified into so many types: linear, non-linear system, time variant invariant system, static dynamic system, causal non-causal system, stable and unstable system. So here we are going to analyze the LTI. LTI means linear time invariant. So what is linear time invariant means? The system, it satisfies linearity as well as time invariance. Okay, so here we are going to analyze the system. All systems are linear systems as well as time invariant. Okay, what is time invariant? With respect to time, the behavior of the system does not change, means that system is called as a time invariant system. And the linear means the system, it satisfies the superposition property, means that system is called as a linear system. Okay, so combinedly, the system, if it satisfies linearity and time invariant, means that systems are called as a LTI system, that is linear time invariant system. Okay, so we are going to analyze this system full and full in this unit. Okay, so in order to, that is analysis means, so what are the things we are going to find out means, so before analysis of this system, so you should know some of the important terms used in the discrete system. So already these topics we studied in the third unit, that is for continuous time system we discussed. Okay, so what are the thing means, one is impulse response. Okay, so impulse response and transfer function frequency response. Okay, so already these names are familiar for you in the third unit. Okay, third unit itself we discussed, but that thing, okay, impulse response h of t is a impulse response of continuous time system. So here the impulse response, it is mentioned as a h of n. Okay. Similarly, the transfer function of the continuous time system is capital H of S. Okay. Laplace transform of the impulse response is said to be the transfer function. So here the Z transform of the impulse response is said to be the transfer function. Okay. So before that one, so we have to discuss about the general, okay, general system equation we have to see. Okay. So what is the nth order system equation? Okay. In order to define the discrete time system means, so the this topic we studied in the third unit also, but the continuous time systems are represented by the differential equation. Okay. Nth order differential equation. Similarly, the discrete time systems are mentioned by the difference equation. Okay. So what is the nth order difference equation of discrete time system means summation k equal to 0 to capital N ak y of n minus k, which is equal to summation k equal to 0 to m bk x of n minus k. Okay. So this is the difference equation of the discrete time system. So where this ak and bk, that means k is varying from 0 to n, k is varying from here 0 to m, that is a0, a1, a2 up to an. Similarly, b0, b1 up to bm. Okay, that ak's and bk's are called as constant parameters. Okay, so the solution of this difference equation, it provides the system response y of n. Okay, so in the analysis, so one system equation is given. Okay, in the third unit, differential equation of the system is given. So from the differential equation, we have to find out the impulse response, step response, or transfer function, frequency response. Similarly, in this case, one difference equation. This equation, it relates the input x of n and output y of n. Okay, this is a system equation of discrete system. Okay, so for this system equation, if you are taking Z transform means after rearranging we will get impulse response or transfer function or frequency response, etc. Okay, so that is the thing. So next we are going to see about the impulse response. Okay, so it is a very important 2-mark question, and in all big question we are going to solve this only. Okay, so in order to solve impulse response, first you should know what is mean by impulse response. Okay, so in the name itself, answer is that. Okay, it is a impulse response. So response means, what is response? Output of the particular system, it is called as a response. So impulse response means the response of the particular system for the given input is a unit impulse signal. Okay, so you see, this is one discrete time system. So for the discrete time system, if input x of n is given as del of n, what is del of n? Unit impulse signal. Okay, at the time of the impulse input is given as a input to the system, this discrete system produces one output, one specific output. That specific output, we are calling it as a impulse response. Okay, so the impulse response is specifically notated as h of n. Okay, h of n. So what does mean by impulse response means, you see, for discrete system, the input signal applied is a unit impulse del of n, then the output produced by the system is known as a impulse response of the system. Okay, so it is denoted as h of n. So the h of n, it can be written as the transfer function of del of n. Okay, the transformation of del of n, it is said to be the h of n. Okay, and the impulse response, so this is the definition. Okay, exact definition of the impulse response. It's an important 2-mark question also. So impulse response of the system is defined as the response produced by the system for the given input is a impulse signal. Okay, so this impulse response, it is otherwise called as unit sample response. Okay, the impulse response, the other name of the impulse response in a discrete time system is unit sample response. Okay, unit sample. Sometime the question may be define unit sample response means, so it is a impulse response only. It's otherwise called as unit sample response. Okay, this is the thing. So now what is the relation between the input x of n and output y of n, and the impulse response h of n means, so the output y of n of any system is calculated by performing the convolution between the input signal x of n with impulse response h of n. Okay, so already we studied in the third unit, you know, the output of the continuous time system y of t is calculated by performing the convolution between the input and impulse response. Similarly, the same thing. So here discrete, okay, instead of the small t, we have to put n in this. So the output of the discrete time system is calculated by performing the convolution. Okay, this asterisk indicates convolution. The convolution process between x of n. What is x of n? Input. What is h of n? Impulse response. Okay, so this is the relation between input, output, and impulse response. Okay, and so that is using this. Okay, this impulse response is having so many advantages. Okay, so with the use of the impulse response, we can say that the given system is a causal or not, the given system is a stable or not, we will analyze. Okay, so you see, so this is the causality and stability of discrete time system. So this topic also we discussed in the third unit. Okay, so causality and stability of continuous time system we discussed in the third unit. What is mean by causality? The system, okay, if the given LTI DT system is causal. Okay, what is mean by causal? Causal means the present output depends on present input and previous. Okay, not depends upon the future input, means that system is said to be a causal. Okay, so we discussed this thing in a first unit. Okay, causal system in the classification of thing. Okay, similarly, in order to check the given system is a causal system or not, if you should know the impulse response value, means from the impulse response we can say that the given system is a causal or not. Okay, so what is the condition means? So an LTI DT system is causal if and only if its impulse response is 0. Okay, its impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. Okay, for negative value of time, for n less than 0, the impulse response value is 0, means the corresponding system is said to be a causal system. So what is the meaning? So the impulse response h of n is only available on the positive time axis, means we can say that the system is said to be a causal. Okay, so the same definition is for the continuous time system, but in that h of t equal to 0 for t less than 0. Okay, the same thing only. So what is causality? So it's a very important 2-mark question. Okay, causality and stability. So in terms of impulse response, the system is causal if and only if its impulse response is 0 for negative value of time. Okay, this is the condition for the causality. Okay, this is the one thing. And that is we may check the system is said to be causal or not using the ROC also. Okay, ROC in the 4th unit in the Z transform we discussed the region of convergence. Okay, for each problem we solved the ROC, you know. So for one system, okay, for one system function, that is system transfer function, if you are drawing the ROC, means if the ROC is a exterior part of the circle having some radius r, means the particular system is said to be a causal. Okay, this is the another one definition. Okay, so the particular thing is causal in which situation with respect to ROC. The ROC is a exterior part of the circle having radius r, means the system is said to be the causal. Okay, this is the another one thing. Okay, then stability. Okay, so what is stability? Stability is the condition. So you see the stability question, December 2017, 15 and April 2017. This is also an important 2-mark. Okay, sometime this causality, stability combinedly. Okay, they ask sometime what is the condition for stability of DT system? What is the condition for causality of DT system? Okay, separate question also it will come. Okay, so what is stability means? Stability is the condition in order to check the given system is stable or not. Okay, so you know according to the BIBO stability. What is BIBO? Bounded input, bounded output stability condition. So, we discussed this BIBO stability in the first unit. So what is, in which situation the system is said to be stable? For the finite input, the system produces finite output, means that system is called as a stable system. Okay, that means for finite input means or bounded input. Okay, for bounded input, the system produces bounded output, means the system is said to be the stable system. So this is the definition with respect to input and output. Okay, in terms of impulse response. Okay, in terms of impulse response h of n. So what is the thing? Okay, how to check, that is if we are having the impulse response. So using the value of impulse response, how to check the given system is stable or not, means this is the condition. Okay, so what is the thing means? Yeah, LTI system is said to be stable if its impulse response is absolutely summable. Okay, that means if you are adding the h of n value for the n is equal to minus infinity to infinity. Okay, we are adding the h of n value for entire duration. If that summation answer is less than infinity, means that system we are calling it as a stable system. Okay, so this is the condition in order to check whether the given system is stable or not. Okay, so LTI system is said to be stable if its impulse response is absolutely summable. Okay, for a continuous time system, we discussed the stability. Okay, so in that continuous time system, what is the condition means? The h of n, the impulse response is absolutely integrable. Okay, that means integration of minus infinity to infinity, the h of t into dt. Okay, the h of t into dt value, it should be less than infinity, means this is the condition for the continuous time system to be stable. Okay, so this is the condition for discrete time system to be stable. Okay, so what is the stability condition? Impulse response is absolutely summable. Okay, in continuous, impulse response is absolutely integrable. Okay, that is the difference. And in terms of ROC, okay, in terms of ROC, how to check the given system is stable or not, means with the in the ROC there is the ROC includes unit circle. Okay, the region of convergence. In the region of convergence, unit circle. What is mean by unit circle? A circle having radius 1. Okay, so if the ROC includes the unit circle, means that particular system we are calling it as a stable system. Okay, so in that is in the 2-mark question, sometime generally they ask what is the condition for causality and stability of DT system. Okay, it's a one question. So at that case, in that case, you have to write in terms of impulse response. You may write. Okay, so causality means the impulse response is 0 for negative value of 0, and stability means if the impulse response is absolutely summable, means the system is said to be stable. Okay, this is the one thing. In some time, the question they are asking it as what is the condition for causality and stability in terms of ROC. Okay, in terms of ROC means you may write this thing. Okay, so in terms of ROC, if the system is said to be causal, means the ROC is an exterior part of circle having radius. R means the system is said to be causal. Okay, similarly, if the ROC includes unit circle, means that particular system is said to be a stable system. Okay, this is the one of the question. Then, so this is the combined condition. Okay, the combined condition means in order to check the discrete time system is both causal and stable. Okay, this is also one of the 2-mark question. So you see December 2014. So what is the condition for the system, the discrete time system to be stable and causal? Okay, stable and causal in terms of ROC. Okay, so you see, for a causal system means the ROC is exterior part of the circle. Okay, that is the modulus of Z greater than some R value. And for stable system, the ROC includes unit circle. Okay, unit circle means this R value, it must be less than 1. Okay, this is the thing. So we have to combine these two conditions. So for one system, it should be both causal and stable. Okay, one system for stable and causal means it should satisfy these two conditions. So what is it? Two condition. First, the ROC is exterior part of circle having radius r, but this r value, it should be less than 1. Okay, so this is the combined condition for in order to check the given system is both causal and stable. Okay, so you see modulus of z greater than r, but this r value, it should be less than 1, means the given system is a causal as well as stable system. Okay, so this is the one thing. Okay, so this is the causality and stability. And the next thing is a frequency response and system function. So you know, system function or transfer function. So what is meant by transfer function of the discrete time system? So the same definition as that of the third unit. So the transfer function means it is denoted by capital H of Z. Okay, so what is transfer function? It's a ratio of Z transform of output divided by Z transform of input. Okay, so Z transform of output means capital Y of Z. Z transform of input means capital X of Z. So the ratio of Y of Z by X of Z, we are calling it as a H of Z. So H of Z is a system function or system transfer function or simply transfer function, we may tell. Okay, in the third unit, in the continuous time system, the system function is capital H of S. What is H of S? It's a ratio of Laplace transform of output by Laplace transform of input. Similarly, in discrete system, Z transform of output by Z transform of input. It is said to be the system function. Okay, and the another one thing is frequency response. So the frequency response means it is a capital H of e power j omega. What is capital H of e power j omega? It's a discrete time Fourier transform of the impulse response. Okay, so for the impulse response H of n, if you are taking dtft means we will get the answer is that capital H of e power j omega. So this capital H of e power j omega, we are calling it as a frequency response. Okay, so the frequency response of DT system is nothing but the dtft of their impulse response. Okay, or otherwise this this frequency response, it is also defined as this capital H of e power j omega equal to, it's a ratio of Y of e power j omega divided by X of e power j omega. Okay, that is dtft of the output divided by dtft of the input. We may call it as a frequency response. Okay, the system function means Z transform of output by Z transform of input. Similarly, the frequency response means DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform of output by Fourier transform of the input. We are calling it as a frequency response. Okay, so using this H of e power j omega value, so we may draw the spectrum. Okay, the magnitude spectrum and the phase spectrum of the given system. Okay, so you know this H of e power j omega, it's a complex quantity. Okay, it is having the real part and imaginary part. So that's why if you are converting this vector quantity into the polar means, so we may write modulus of H of e power j omega with angle of H of e power j omega. Okay, so using this one, we may draw the two graphs. One is magnitude response, another one is phase response. So what is magnitude response? The modulus of H of e power j omega versus omega. Okay, omega means frequency. So if you are drawing the graph between modulus of H of e power j omega versus omega means it is said to be the magnitude response. Okay, and the phase response means modulus of, that is the angle of H of e power j omega versus omega. If you are drawing the graph means it is said to be the phase response. So combinedly these two graphs are called as the frequency response graph. Okay, so these are all the analysis of the discrete system. So this is the introduction part. So using this thing, we are going to solve the problem related to the discrete time system in the next unit and the next video. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos and keep watching. Thank you.